Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Kem. Are you interested in becoming a sponsor for the Fly Young Intellectual podcast? Would you like us to advertise your business on this platform? If interested, email us at info@flyyoungintellectual.com. That's info@flyyoungintellectual.com. We're waiting to hear from you. Peace. Hey, it's your boy Kem. I got a question for y'all. Have you copped your FYI merch yet? No? What are you waiting for? Head over to www.flyyoungintellectual.com and check out the cool merch that we have available for y'all. We don't only inform, inspire, and interact through conversation, we also do it through design. Get yours now. Peace. What's going on, people? It's your boy Kem, and welcome back to another episode of the Fly Young Intellectual podcast. And on today's episode, we have a very, 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 very special guest on the show today. She is making headlines and waves through the skincare industry. All natural. She has an all-natural skincare luxury line that I personally use, and it's been helping my glow. And anything that helps me and any story that I think is worthy of being told, I would love to have it on my podcast. So she was very gracious in accepting the invitation to be on the pod. I know her pretty well, I think. We grew up on the same island together, and we actually grew up in the same neighborhood together. So that's pretty damn well. She is a very determined and very enlightening individual that is all about the self-care and self-love journey. The story behind this skincare line is honestly a self-care story within the formula of what she creates. So, hey man, I think it was perfect to have her on. She agreed, and she's here today. We'd love to welcome to the show Cleo Ravariere. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
You holding up well in the pandemic?
I am.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Has outside been calling your name?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Do you answer the call?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's fair. We like honesty here at FYI. Sometimes I answer the call as well. So you are the CEO and founder of a skincare company. Give us the name and pronounce it correctly, because I see a lot of people mess that up.
So it is called Mia Luyer.
Mia Luyer. Luyer obviously is French.
Yes.
Mia means?
My.
And Luyer means?
Glow.
My glow.
Yes.
So.
And Mia is Italian. Luyer is French.
Okay, and there's also like a whole other story behind that, and we'll get into that. But talk to us about your journey growing up in the Virgin Islands, growing up in St. Croix. What did that do for your development as a human being, as a woman? Talk a little bit about how you grew up.
So growing up in the Virgin Islands is really the basis of the formulas that I have for my skincare line. So I'll backtrack to my toddler years. So to be quite honest, I didn't really have much of a toddler life, so to speak. I was not able to run up and down in the grass. I was not able to have teddy bears. I was not able to wear certain things because of materials. Different stuff caused my skin to have different reactions. Mm-hmm. And my parents found that out when I was 2 years old. Never had this issue as a baby, never had these issues until I was 2 years old, and I wanted to be a kid. At the age of 2, you're very active, you're outside, you have your teddy bears, you want to play with your teddy bears, and I had a world of teddy bears, but I just was not able to play with it because I would have all these weird skin reactions. And
we like, I like to learn. So would that be considered hypoallergenic?
It was considered that's what we started with, that it was hypoallergenic. Yeah. Because we just thought it was something that would go away eventually. Because if you look at a lot of babies and toddlers, they do suffer with eczema. You have baby eczema and these different types of
stuff that we use like powder and stuff for, yeah.
You know, there are rashes here and there, heat rash, especially living on an island. You have these kind of skin issues that develop sometimes. So my parents, you know, they thought it would go away. The regular oatmeal soap, oatmeal baths, take me to the seawater because, you know, the seawater is full of healing, different stuff like that. Well, as I got older, I remember when I was 4, it started getting worse. I started becoming discolored. Like, my elbows were very discolored, and I'm light skinned. So my elbows were really discolored. It was very dark. My knees were discolored, very, very dark. Just different parts of my body, my neck, I had a lot of dark spots. I just looked really dirty. Like, in between my arm, the elbow, you know, forearm area, it was dark. All these areas were really dark, and they were painful. They would burn, they would itch. And to have a 4-year-old child, a toddler, going through that is a very stressful moment for any parent, because it's like, I don't know what to do, you know? So my parents spent all this money, take me to the dermatologists. Nothing they gave me work. Nothing. I remember my aunt in England, she heard about my skin disorders because it was talked about amongst family members, because my parents were looking for solutions. And she would send this British stuff. Didn't work at all. It didn't even soothe me, nothing. So my parents thought that I had an internal issue. They thought I had an autoimmune disease or something is in my blood that's causing this issue, which is a good assumption because there are some skin conditions where your blood is if your blood is toxic, it comes out in your skin. Ran the blood tests, nothing was wrong with me. Nothing was wrong with me. I'll never forget, I was 6 now. I started eating eggs more than usual. You know, there's certain things that as a child, this is your favorite type of food.
Yeah, of course.
So I started eating eggs more than usual, and behind my knees were just getting worse. So my dad assumed, it's the eggs. You need to stop eating the eggs. You're allergic to eggs. I stopped eating the eggs. Nothing changed. So I just went through the motions. At this point, I wouldn't say my parents gave up on the issue, but at this point, by the time I was 7, 8 years old, it was just like, okay, well, this is just what it is. This is just what you have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with. We'll buy you the Gold Bond. Gold Bond is good for itching if you have a lot of itching. We'll give you the oatmeal baths. They'll soothe your skin, and cocoa butter. And it got worse because now not only did I look dirty, I started to feel dirty. You know, kids would tease me about it. I'm going to school now. I'm among children. Kids would talk about my skin. I would be called raisin foot, which is a very popular teasing phrase in the Caribbean. I would be
Kids are just mean overall.
Right. I would be called raisin foot. I'll be called dirty. I was very self-aware and self-conscious by the age of 7. By the age of 7, I was really self-conscious. And as great as it was growing up in the Virgin Islands, that particular part of my life was very rough because Caribbean children are mean. Children in general are mean, but
I mean, that's all you know.
Because we're so brash at times, and our tones and stuff like that, it comes off in a very mean way. So that part of my childhood was very tough. And on top of that, I was very tall. I grew very big at a very young age. So I was tall. I was the tallest in my class. I had skin issues. I looked dirty. I felt dirty. I didn't want to wear shorts because it's going to show the discoloration of my skin. I didn't want to wear sleeveless because it's going to show the discoloration of in between my arms and different stuff like that. So it was just a bad time. I clinged onto my mother during that time. Like, I wouldn't go play with friends. I was very attached to her. Mm-hmm. Because it was like a safe space, you know? And then on top of that, I'm looking at all these other kids who do not have this issue. And I'm just like, wow, I'm the only person that have, what is wrong with me? At the age of 7, 8, 9, these are the questions that used to run through my mind. Like, what is wrong with me? I am the only one in class, or I'm the only person out of all of us that have this problem.
So it seemed, yeah.
So my mom would, I would get the regular dermatologist visits. Same thing. They would give me some cream. Same thing over and over again. I will never forget, in 2006, I went to Florida. I was about 13, making 14. I went to Florida, and after I took a bath, now let me just say this. So with the skin disorders, they would calm down. You would still have the discoloration, but they would calm down and they would come back. It was like seasonal. Mm-hmm. So, I started to begin to live with it. Now, I went to Florida. I'll never forget, after I took a shower, my whole body was full of this scaly, red. It was just, I will never forget, it popped up on my arm, and I showed my mother, and she was like, this looks like psoriasis. Mm-hmm. So now I have eczema, seasonal eczema, and now I have psoriasis. Then with my hair, my scalp, my parents thought I had a dandruff issue because they thought it was hereditary. Now let me say this, Caribbean parents, they come up with everything, they make their own diagnosis to make themselves feel better sometimes, and to make the situation not seem like it's so bad.
Right.
Or they'll tell you, don't worry, you'll grow out of it, don't worry. So my scalp, my mother always had to grease my scalp on an extra level. Like, my forehead would be greasy. Like, I know my black people know what I'm talking about. But with me,
that's the black struggle for sure.
But with me, my forehead would be extra greasy because they thought I just had dry scalp, But there was a point in time, my head was scabbing a lot. Like, I would just scratch my hair and my fingers would have blood on it. Or my mom would comb my hair and there would be parts of my head that looks really scaly. And my mom did the sulfur-8. She did all that stuff, and it just wasn't going away. So now we found out that I had eczema and psoriasis in my scalp. Mm-hmm. So washing my hair was a task. My head would itch and itch and itch. I mean, it was just a mess. I got teased for that too. But by the time we found out about that, I was in high school. Okay. So I would make jokes about that.
Yeah, self coping mechanisms. Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, at that moment, I didn't realize how serious the condition was in my scalp because I just used to make jokes about it. So now I have eczema, I have psoriasis, I have this stuff going on with my scalp, all this different stuff. So I remember the eczema started getting worse, and my parents was just like, this cannot work, because they started realizing my self-esteem was very low. Mm-hmm. I remember my parents, especially my mother, she would make me aware that we see that your self-esteem is really low, and you need to know that you are very beautiful. And I'm just like, no, I'm not. I have all these issues. I have bad skin. Why am I the one with all these problems? People in my class don't have these issues. And my parents took the situation into their own hands, because it's like, okay, this child is 15 years old, mm-hmm. and she has not grown out of this as yet. What is going on? We take away gluten. We even went vegan at one point.
Yeah.
They did.
Just based on the assumption that it's what you eat.
They did everything. And my dad and my mom, they went out in the yard one morning, and my dad said, hey, we're going to blend up some aloe and some orange juice. And my mom went out into the yard. We had a glory cedar tree. It's a very popular tree, especially in Dominica and St. Lucia, and it's very good for the skin. So this leaf, it is good for skin ailments. And the leaf gets really soapy when you put it in water. So my mom was like, okay, we'll start giving you bush baths. So they got the glory cedar. My mom got the marigold, which is now known as calendula. And the oatmeal baths never ended because oatmeal is very soothing to the skin. Mm-hmm. So they created all these different concoctions for me. My mom started doing the tea tree oil in my scalp, the eucalyptus in my scalp, the marigold, all that stuff she started doing in my scalp. Mm-hmm. And she would oil me down at night. She would do the bush bath like 2-3 times a week. Now, I'm a big grown 15-year-old child, and I have to be taking these bush baths. There were some uncomfortable moments, but look at me right now.
Yeah.
Like, they really help. So when I started the bush baths, in a matter of 10 days, my skin was clearing up. The discoloration behind my knees were leaving. And that was a combination of the aloe and the bush baths and the oils. Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing that was giving me an issue was my scalp. I recently got over the whole scalp situation. But my skin was clearing up. I started feeling more confident about myself. My self-esteem took a jump. And when I started my self-love journey at 21, I started reflecting and I started thinking about what caused me to really dislike myself like this and make me feel like I don't have much self-worth. And I backtracked to my skin. Because it wasn't just kids that were talking about my skin. Every time I go by a family member house, they have to talk about my skin. Oh, what's going on with this? Why her leg looks so? Why this? Oh, you need to try this. Don't use that. I mean, it was just like every time I come in the room, people don't see me.
Yeah, they saw the ailments. Yeah.
They saw my skin ailments. So when I started my self-love journey, it backtracked to that. That was the root of the issue. Because let's say like my past relationships, for instance, there were some relationships I just settled for because I felt like, hey, I wasn't going to get anybody anyway because this is how I look. So I'm not going to get anybody anyway. So I might as well.
Wow, that's deep.
So I just took a lot that was beneath me and below my actual self-worth because I did not know my self-worth. I did not know who I was. Mm-hmm. And people is like, oh, it sounds so simple as, oh, just skin. But it's not just skin. Your skin is your largest organ. It's the most visible organ that people see. And come on, there are people that if they get one pimple, it makes their confidence dip.
One pimple, yeah.
If you get one pimple or one mark, or if you fall down or you get a scratch that is visible, it hurts your confidence.
Yeah. So imagine, right? Imagine your discomfort and your almost self-hate, so to speak, because of the level of skin ailments that you have that are covering your whole body. Yeah, that's crazy because as a kid, I can relate in certain ways, and not because I had skin ailments, but just kids are definitely mean. And a lot of the times they'll call you out on some things that either you didn't even identify as it was different, quote unquote, to anybody else, or they'll identify the things that you most are not comfortable with, and they'll make it something more tangible and real and public than you would like. So that's very uncomfortable situations.
It's a very, very uncomfortable situation. And believe it or not, people smell your insecurities.
Yeah.
People smell your insecurities.
Yeah.
And people know the parts of you that you don't like.
Wow.
You don't just get bullied just to get bullied, or you don't get teased just to get teased. If you look at the parts that people tease you about, it's the parts that you yourself struggle with.
Yeah, and the stuff that you don't own, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's as the saying says, it's hard for somebody to hold something against you that you yourself have already conquered. And then of course, yeah, as younger individuals and even older, it doesn't matter. One of the self-defense mechanisms and protective mechanism is making jokes upon yourself, so that essentially people can't use the joke against you once you already making a joke against yourself. So, and these are all like things that are very taxing on the mental as well, because now you're suffering with anxiety, you're suffering with depression, you're having self-love issues. And then of course the environment that you were in, which is school, you have to go there every day. So now, you were talking about going to your family members, and they weren't making it comfortable for you. So at that point, you didn't really have a safe space, I'm saying? Maybe at home, but at the same time, you were very aware of the issues that you had, which is it's a lot because you were that young. So essentially you're saying you got over the, like, what age range would you say that you kind of like actually found relief and like your skin started clearing up? You said the bush baths help, and that was around what age?
That was around 14, 15.
Okay.
And 16 was when my skin was really like
at its best from age from zero to 16.
From 0 to 16.
That was the first year.
It was like, okay, you popping now. Like, okay. I would never forget my class trip. I was wearing a tube top. I was wearing shorts. Like, you could not get me to not wear shorts, and you could not get me to not wear a tube top.
You had that newfound self-confidence.
It's like, I've arrived.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but that was still just one part of it, because there was still parts of me that I still suffered with, because deep down inside, I still felt like, you're not that great, I would have eczema flares here and there, and I'll be like, oh, here we go again. So, by age 16, it was fully cleared up, and the relief was literally right in the plants in my yard.
The herbs, the healing straight from the land and the nation. Yeah,
it was literally there.
Yeah, a lot of times we ignore that, and I think it's a blessing growing up in the Caribbean, of course, because I think for the most part, I can only speak for what I know. We live off of the land, and the herbs were a major part of my growing up, even though we didn't necessarily probably believe everything that our parents used to say. Hey, this herb can do this herb can do that. Eventually you recognize that, there was power in these plants, and that there is healing properties in a lot of these things. So you're 16 on, you graduate high school, you go away to college. The self-love journey for you said you started it at 21. Mm-hmm. What made it start there for you at 21?
So I got into a really bad car accident right after my 21st birthday.
Okay.
It was really bad. I damaged my hip. I damaged my foot. So my back, I developed sciatica because of the car accident. So while the car accident was still fresh, I couldn't really walk. It was just physical therapy, the bed. So during that time, I had to quit my job, because the job I was doing at that time, I was very active. I was walking. And I was just alone in my head.
That's sometimes the scariest part, when you're alone.
And I was just going down a very, very dark place, a very, very dark hole, because I'm in my head. I don't have a job. You almost feel pretty worthless. You almost feel pretty worthless in that moment. And I would never forget, I sat up on my bed and I was like, I have got to pull myself together. This is not cool. And So my bed was right next to a mirror. So my closet was a full mirror. And I looked at myself and I was like, I started all this negative self-talk towards myself. And I had this routine where every night I would read Psalms. Psalms are something I would read every single night. And I buck up on the favorite verse that everybody talks about, fearfully and wonderfully made. And I started repeating it over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. And I questioned myself. I started doing reflection. I questioned myself and I was like, why do I feel this way about me? Why do I have this feeling about me? Because it's very draining. It was very, very draining. And once I started reflecting, I started journaling. And I took it all the way back to my toddler years. And it went back to my skin. I started reflecting on my past relationships. Why did I think this was okay? Why did I settle for this? And it went right back to my skin. It went right back to my physical, how I felt I looked physically. Mm-hmm. Like, if I'm being transparent, I really felt like I was an ugly person. I always felt that way. It doesn't matter how many people told me, oh, Cleo, you're so beautiful. Oh, Cleo. It's like, okay, great. But I don't believe that.
Right. And if you don't believe that, then it's not going to be real to you.
I did so many things. I lost weight. I put on weight. I did this skincare routine. I did that skincare routine. I see all these people on social media. They have skin that looks like glass. I want my skin to look like that. And it was just a toxic drain of me trying to be somebody I was just not, because I did not love who I was.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna let's take a break here. Let's go to a quick commercial, pay some bills real quick, and then we will come back and talk about the second half of that self-love journey and how, you know, it led you to creating Mia Lior, your company. Welcome back to the Flying Intellectual Podcast with our very, very special guest, Cleo Ravariere. She is the CEO and founder of the skincare line Mia Lior. And she is also a certified self-love coach. And we were just talking about her journey from childhood, the skin ailments she suffered with, and her self-love journey that she suffered with, like a lot of us have. And now we are on her breakthrough at about age 21, where she started finally finding ways to love herself and to affirm herself and, you know, and have that breakthrough. So, Cleo, so once again, as you're breaking through this self-love journey, and you're working your way through, what would you say were some of your moments where you could really attest to, outside of the accident, which we just talked about, that you could really say, hey, this was really significant in my change of mindset when it comes to self-love and loving yourself?
What really was significant for me was cutting off people who aided in me feeling like crap.
Okay.
I cut off. I didn't care if it was family members. I don't care if we were best friends before. I don't care what our history was. I started cutting off people that made me feel uncomfortable about myself. Because I wasn't born not loving myself. I wasn't born feeling this way.
Yeah, nobody is, right?
This was something that was created inside of me because of different environments, different people, the things people say. Mm-hmm. Words are very, they're very powerful. Very powerful. So that was one of the main things that gave me a shift in my self-love journey. And the comfortability of me being okay with cutting these people off.
Right, because we always feel like we need them at first, and it feels like they feel like a crutch sometimes that we can't do without a lot of the times,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So during my reflection, because I did a lot of self-reflection. And
this is during the time of the accident, or is this like
this was progressive? So I eventually got a job. My hip eventually, it's still not healed, but I'm much better. It's pain management. So it's just during that that whole period when I was living in Maryland, that all of this was taking place, the different steps I was taking. And like I said, I did a lot of self-reflection. Self-reflection is very, very, and just reflecting in general is very, very important when you're on your self-love journey, because it's the only way that you can unfold why exactly am I here at this moment? Why do I feel like this?
And that's a gem. I think we need to, kind of parenthetically pause here momentarily, because if you don't look within, if you don't take that time to look within, then you can't identify the things that you need to identify, and then you cannot address the things that you need to address.
Exactly.
And a lot of the time we go through life and we ignore and push it under the equivalent of like throwing the dirt under the rug or under the couch, just pushing it to the side. As long as I don't see it
exactly
certain days, I feel like I'm better, but then we never really heal.
Exactly.
So
and during that time, I started to realize I'm a very angry person. I'm a very angry person, and the people that made me feel this way, they're triggers, and every time I come around them, I get angry. I'm uncomfortable. I have to walk on eggshells. If I'm going by this family member, or if I'm going by this friend, I have to make sure I put on clothes that, okay, maybe they wouldn't be able to point this out, or they wouldn't be able to It was just a very...
That's a lot of thinking.
It's a lot of thinking, and it's prison.
No, for sure, because you're trying to appease other people.
It's prison. You're trying to appease other people so they don't trigger you. So you're trying to please people so they don't trigger you.
You're trying to please people.
But that in itself is a trigger. So it's just like, it was just a lot mentally. So reflecting helped me a lot. I realized I was a very angry person. I would just snap on. I used to snap on my parents. I used to snap on my sister. I used to snap on myself. I used to just short-tempered, always ready to just go, because I've dealt with so much in those 16 years, and now it's like, the pressure has built up so much, I want to just go off on everybody. So I realized I was angry. I used to angry cry. Like if I felt like at the age of 19, 20, if I felt like I'm talking to you and you're not listening, you are ignoring how I feel. I'm telling you, you're making me feel this way and you're ignoring how I feel. I just want to go off. Mm-hmm. But then during reflection, I started to realize, it's simple, sis. Just cut these people off. You don't need to embrace these people who are making you feel this way. People projecting their insecurities on you are going to make you start seeing your own insecurities. You're going to start feeling a certain type of way. People trying to dim your light is the worst thing. Is the worst type of people you can have around, because you're going to keep on dimming your light, and they're going to keep dimming your light to make sure that their light shine.
That's a mouthful, but yeah. If people who are dimming your light are going to make sure they dim your light, while they help
to make their light look a little brighter.
To make their light look a little brighter. And it doesn't mean that their light is brighter.
Exactly. It
just means that they're trying to push you down. Exactly. So whatever little light that they have looks like it's brighter. That's deep. Exactly. That's deep. So at this point now, you're on your self-love journey. you yourself have gotten over the ailment, so to speak, in majority of it, the skin ailments and the disorders, because of the healing power of plants, of herbs, of these natural things. You went outside of the pharmaceutical route, and instead of using chemicals and whatnot, you went all natural. Mm-hmm. So you start your skincare line pretty recently, which is, it's not even a year old
it's
yet.
7 months old.
7 months. Down to like a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, 115 months. I hate when parents do that, but I'm not a parent, so I'll tell. I guess when I do become one, maybe I'll be saying 245,364 months and 12 days old. However, 7 months, you have a skincare line that you have put everything that you just told me, all that hurt, all that pain, all that healing, all that joy, all that sadness, all these emotions, you found ways to put it into a formula.
Yes.
So what motivated you motivated you to actually start your skincare company? Because you weren't always an entrepreneur. You went to school, you got your degrees, you went the 9-to-5 route. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but what made you want to really start your own company?
When I first got my Instagram, that I was just skincare. I remember I used to post pictures of coconut oil. We're going to talk about coconut oil real soon.
Okay.
But I remember I used to post pictures of coconut oil or different little stuff that would be good for your skin. This was before stories, the stories era.
Yeah, of course.
Now, Snapchat was the thing. I used to do a lot of my skincare routine on Snapchat. I used to take pictures of my skin because, hello, I'm glowing.
Yeah.
Just different stuff, feeling myself. Then we got Instagram stories, and I started pushing the self-care Sunday. But the self-care Sunday really stemmed from the skincare.
Yeah.
Because it was taking time out to take care of your skin. So I started doing masks. I started giving skin tips, skin health tips. I started going to my esthetician Alicia, which we met in our corporate job. She's now she have her own esthetician stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I would just post that content, and people would just message me like, "Hey sis, you need to just bottle this up and sell it." And I'm just like, no, I'll just give you guys the instructions. And then as I progressed into liking skincare more and just doing my skincare stuff all the time, "Hey sis, we need you to just bottle this up. We need you to bottle this up and sell it." And I just was not sold on it once again because I felt like I couldn't do it.
Fear of failure.
Yes.
And if you guys listen to the last episode before this episode, check that out, episode 45, where we're literally talking about how the word failure can keep you from moving within your purpose. So you were afraid because you didn't think you could.
I didn't think I could do it.
And of course, skincare it's a sensitive thing too.
Oh my goodness.
So you don't.
Skincare is a very.
Because you can negatively affect people's skin.
Oh yes.
Which then results in lawsuits and all this kind of stuff.
All this types of stuff.
So you're already projecting failures onto yourself.
And if you know me, I've already overthunk about the worst that could possibly happen.
That's the Virgo in you, but it's okay. So what was that factor? What do you think allowed you to flip that switch and say, "Hey man, I can do it, or I should do it"?
This is going to sound really crazy, but my sister and my best friend.
How does that sound crazy though? That sounds pretty straightforward.
Because these are two people I never really discussed skincare with.
Okay.
So I remember my sister was like, "Hey sis," she had won something with Private Label. Private Label is a company where you can, get skincare. They will bottle it up for you. They will do the labeling, all that stuff. So
Okay.
they will run the skincare. You are making money, but they are doing all the back work.
Okay.
She won something like that, and she was like, "Oh, I think this is something good for you. This is something that you should look into." And I was like, "Huh?" And then my best friend Takia, she was like, "You've always been into skincare, though, from the time I known you." Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, in college, I never had no conversations with any of them about skincare.
Yeah.
But I guess people are always watching.
That is something I've learned over the years. No matter if it looks like they are or not, as long as you're being consistent, you're always going to have people watching.
People are always watching. And
Yeah.
if it's one thing she said she remembered about me is that I was always into my skin.
Yeah.
And into my hair. So I was still getting the DMs about the skincare stuff. I did not run any of this by my parents because, once again, I feared that they would be like, "What? Skincare? Okay." Like, they wouldn't see the vision.
Especially after they send you to school, they pay their good money.
They sent me to school.
You get your degree.
I have such a great career. I've done so well in corporate America. I've worked for the federal government. It's like, you really want to let all of that go for some skincare? That's what they would tell me.
Yeah, that's the mindset.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me protect myself before I actually get discouraged. I'm not gonna tell them anything.
That'd be the best thing to do sometimes, for sure.
I'm not going to tell them a word because they just won't get it.
Yeah.
Like some parents, they're just one track.
Most parents are
Yes.
one track minded. Most parents. Yeah.
So I was
maybe 2 tracks, but no more than 2 tracks.
I was still getting all this encouragement from my followers. Start the skincare line. Start this. Do it. Now on the flip side, I used to get a lot of laughing at for being so obsessed with skincare. Mm-hmm. Why are people so obsessed? Like, it was just a bit, there are going to be people in this world that makes a mockery out of you.
Facts. Especially when they don't understand. When it's not popular.
Yes.
When it's not their favorite celebrity doing it. Because we take our neighbors and we take our friends for granted,
yes.
right? If it's Rihanna showing her skincare line,
yes.
Oh, we hot. Yes. In my peanut voice, we hot. Gang, naughty, gang.
Exactly.
But once it's our friends, sometimes I think we all are guilty of that at some point
yes.
in our lives.
Yes, I do agree.
We take our friends and the people that we actually know for granted.
And their vision.
And their visions for granted because we don't understand it and it might not relate. But that's not an excuse for us to bash and to negate and to belittle because that can be a negative effect as well. So go ahead.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But I was already at a place in my self-love journey where I was quite confident in myself.
Facts.
So it's like, okay, you guys can laugh. That's cool. That's not my problem. I just have to make sure if this is a goal that I have and this is really a dream and a passion of mine,
yep.
I just have to go forward with it, no matter how crazy it sounds. I just have to go with it.
Yep.
So, in 2017, I started my blog. I started my self-love blog, and that eventually went down the whole of skincare and cosmetic and different stuff like that. Now, in 2017, I did tell myself, I said, you know what? I am going to try this skincare line, but I'm still really scared because skincare is such a very sensitive thing, like you said. Like, I just can't be out here just throwing things together and damaging people's skin. So 2017 to 2018, I decided to get a mentor and I decided to go with Alicia. Alicia is a licensed esthetician here in Atlanta, Georgia. She's one of the best, very passionate about skin. Mm-hmm. She went ahead and gave me the more scientific parts of the skin. Because
acidic and
right,
pH
because
balance.
In all honesty, I did not go to school to be a dermatologist.
It's a gift. It's a gift.
Exactly.
And through experience, yeah.
I didn't know these stuff. I just know that whatever the heck my parents put together,
it worked.
it worked.
Yeah.
And when they recommended it to other parents whose children were starting to experience these things, it worked. That's all I know. Yeah. I don't know anything about lactate, this, that. So having Alicia there as that mentor to show me the other side of skin was a huge help. I started then doing my own research. Now, as of right now, you can't tell me I don't have an honorary degree in dermatology. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think I can agree. That it's a science that you put the time and the energy into to understand, to learn, and it shows.
Oh my goodness. So I did a lot of research. I decided, you know what? I am not going to go through private label or any of these other places to do my skincare products. I'm going to do them myself because I want this to be a tangible way, a tangible form of hope, and a tangible form of my self-love journey. Now, backtrack to my blog. When I started writing about skincare and all my disorders, I got so much feedback from people who said they read my blog and they were going through the same things.
Yeah.
People that I know on a regular, I would never look at them and say, oh, wow, you are dealing with eczema.
Yeah, but your transparency gave them the confidence to come out and be verbal about it. And
I mean, it was really amazing. And that feedback, I was like, okay, this is the confirmation that I need to do this.
Yeah.
Because I am drowning my mind into skincare. I love this. I love it.
And let's hold up real quick because I want to make sure that we're giving the audience these gems. If you're taking notes or whatever you do, the mental note. Transparency allows other people. Your transparency allows other people to be forthcoming about the same issues that they have. So that is why a lot of the time, the most successful people that we see in the world and, on social media and all of that, they're successful not only just because of, they're good at what they do, but they're transparent. They give the good with the bad, which allows people to be able to relate because none of our lives are all good. None of our lives are all bad. You give the truth and you give the important parts and aspects, and people are going to make sure that they relate. People are going to attach themselves to you because they feel like they can trust a Cleo because Cleo has told them about the skin ailments. Cleo has told them about the self-love issues, the self-love journey that she is on. So now I can trust Cleo. I can use Cleo as a confidant. I can use Cleo as a metric, so to speak, of how to go about getting through this issue that I too am suffering from. So that's important. So you start Mia Lior in 2020. We have a pandemic, right? March, the whole world gets shut down. Of course, I'm sure you were planning it before 2020. So tell us, one, how did the pandemic hurt it maybe or help it, the launch of this, and then from there, I'll give you another question from this. So let's go from the first question. How did the pandemic help or hurt the launch of Mia Lior?
The pandemic helped it.
Yeah. Because
I was able to have no distractions.
Right.
Because
the world was at a still.
Right, and I had no distractions.
No excuses.
Yeah.
And unless you made up one to come up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm working from home. At this point, I'm still working my 9 to 5. I'm working from home, and after I finish work, it's like, okay, I can't go out. So I'm going to dive into this. And now, the line was supposed to actually launch in 2019, January of 2019. I already had a name for it. And in March of 2019, my cousin passed, Mia.
Rest in peace, Mia, yeah.
She passed a tragic car accident. She was 21 years old, the same age I started my self-love journey. So, Luya was always a part of the name. But when I think about, for Mia's funeral, I had to do a tribute, etc., etc. And when I thought about Mia and had to really go back into my memory and think about her, I was like, I have to name this skincare after her. I have to, because she is the definition of self-love in a formula. Yeah. She's the definition of it. Mia suffered with eczema. Mia suffered badly with eczema.
Wow.
But you really couldn't tell, because you couldn't tell her anything. She was very, very confident in herself. Beautiful. Very confident. Mia wasn't worrying like, okay, I have to go find the next set of healing for this eczema. It was just like, I got eczema, but hey, I'm still beautiful. I'm still gonna step. That was her. Whether some may see it as fake confidence or whatever some may see it as, it was still very inspiring to me. Yeah. Because at that age, that age that she was, and during her childhood, when I was that age, I was not that confident. You could not have gotten me to wear shorts. But you gonna see Mia in some shorts. So it was really, really, it was a must. I had to name it. It was just like, the timing was just impeccable. It was just impeccable. I wanted this to be a tangible form of hope. I wanted to be a self-love story in a formula. And that is exactly what the name carries. Yeah. Mia Luyor, my glow. Your glow is unique. Your glow is not saying that, okay, until I get clear skin or my acne clears up, I can't glow.
Wow. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just because I have a pimple on my face, that don't mean I'm not glowing, because glowing is internal before external. Yes, this is an external line, you know, skincare is external, but it's about what's inside. Like, you could do all the skincare you want to do, but do you love yourself?
Yep.
Do you love who you are? And if you love who you are, it translates on the outside.
Yeah.
It translates. Like I tell a lot of my customers, be patient, you know, like especially if you're suffering with severe acne. You cannot expect your acne to be gone tomorrow. I couldn't expect my eczema to be gone the next day. There are still some part, like, you know, sometimes around my neck, depending on what type of perfume I use or whatever, I would get a slight eczema flare. Is that gonna stop me from stepping or stop me from feeling good about myself? So everybody's glow is unique. And I want to make that known. Mia Luyor means my glow. This is your glow. It don't matter if you have a age spot, a dark spot, dark circles under your eyes. It don't matter if your knees are darker than your legs. You still glow because you are confident and you love yourself. And that's why I tell people Mia Luyor is an experience. It's a lifestyle. It's a place where you are able to gain some hope, and it's a safe space for you to actually be empowered to get on your self-love journey and fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
From the bottles to the packaging to the ingredients that are in these products, it's to aid in your self-love journey, because of course you have to do some physical stuff for your self-love journey as well. It's not just you want to be fully rounded.
Absolutely.
You know? And I did therapy when I first got on my self-love journey. It helped a lot. It helped to hear a stranger. And that's what I want to be to my customers. I don't want to be a therapist, but I want to be that stranger that is telling you like, hey, you are glowing. You are worthy. You deserve. Let nobody tell you different. And that's what my therapist did for me. Mm-hmm. That's what my therapist did for me. So everything in these bottles, this is just a few items, but everything in these bottles, this jar, is a tangible form of self-love.
So let's talk a little bit about the products that you have here today. So you started let's see if I remember correctly. The first collection was called the Dawn Collection.
Yes.
Which had the Restoring Toner.
Yes.
The Luminary Serum.
Yes.
And the Emollient Facial Oil.
Yes.
And
the Skin Renewal Mask.
And the Skin Renewal Mask.
Yes.
How could I forget? All right, cool. Why the Dawn Collection? What did the Dawn Collection stand for, and why these products?
The Dawn Collection literally stood for the beginning of something, the beginning of a phenomenon. And I chose these products these types of products because they were to enhance your already skin care regimen.
Okay, so you were pairing these with something.
Yes.
You were trying to make your way into everybody's bathroom and
exactly.
their whatever. Okay.
Make my way into adding the stuff that they didn't have. You know, some people are just cleansing their face, and they weren't adding the other stuff that would aid in the treating of their skin.
Okay.
So I started with this, and then the mask is great for self-care day. You know, you get to mix your mask, and you get to put it on, and you get to feel your skin tighten, and yeah, all of that was good. And then the Luminary Serum was to help with dark spots, brighten your skin. This is really the glow girl right here.
No. Absolutely. That's my favorite. That's definitely my favorite.
Out of the 4, this is the glow girl right here because it's aloe based.
Yeah.
And aloe played a very important part of my healing.
Yeah.
And then you have the facial oil, which is perfect for night because it literally repairs your skin, and it's emollient because it's softened. So you wake up with nice, soft, bright skin. And the toner is very hydrating. So let's say you go on a summer walk or you go on a hike or something and you come back, you're feeling real sticky, you just spray on your toner and it'll refresh you. It's not only for your skincare routine, you know?
Yeah.
And the facial oil, you can use it on your body too. A lot of my customers use it on their body as well.
Yeah. I actually use it in my beard. See?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so that's the Dawn Collection. That's your first collection. This is your baby. This is where it all began.
Yes.
And then now we have I think the regenerative treatment oil was the next. Now this is like the medicine of the group, right?
This is something else.
Yeah.
This is my favorite because this is literally packed with everything that used to be in my bush baths and my scalp treatments.
Yeah.
So the treatment oil, so remember I told you guys we're going to get back to coconut oil. So the regenerative treatment oil is the only oil that has in coconut oil because it's a treatment oil and it's not a moisturizer. It's not to be put on your face or anything like that. It's literally for the areas of your skin that needs healing. The dry areas, the eczema areas, the psoriasis areas, your scalp. This is what it's for. Coconut oil is not to be used as a moisturizer or something to put on your face because it clogs pores. It's a fact. It's the only oil that hardens.
At a certain temperature, yeah.
Exactly. So you want to only use this on areas that are very necessary because coconut oil is an antifungal and it's an antimicrobial. Once you put coconut oil on a sore or an infected skin area, it's going to heal it. It's going to heal it. Then you have the eucalyptus in here. You have the calendula, which is marigold. We call it marigold in the Caribbean. You have borage seed oil, and you have lavender. Borage seed does the same thing that coconut oil does. Eucalyptus soothes and heals. Calendula soothes and heals as well. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I use this oil as my after bath oil because it smells so good and it feels so good, and it has lavender in it, which will give you a good night's rest.
Nice.
And it's very safe for babies and it's very safe for kids. So definitely, this is my girl here.
Yeah. And now, you had the body butter.
So I have the body butter. We have two body butters. We have the Backlight body butter, which is made with shea butter, and we have the Hydra Glow body butter, which is made with mango butter.
Yep.
And the reason I made two was because some people are allergic to tree nuts. You know, as somebody who was allergic to grass and all these different elements of outside, I have to be mindful of these things. It would not be right of me to just create something that's all shea butter and not think about other people. So the mango butter is for the people that are allergic to tree nuts. So we have jasmine oil in the Hydra Glow. We have avocado oil, safflower oil, all that good stuff. It smells so good, and it really keeps your skin moisturized and hydrated without it feeling greasy.
Look, man, you don't. Let me jump in here. The body butter. Look, your skin could be as ashy as the Sahara on God. You put that on, you're gonna shine. You're gonna glow. It's not greasy, but you can. It may look greasy because in terms of just the shine of it, but it doesn't feel greasy. It's not greasy to touch. It blends itself into the skin very well. It's one of my favorites as well. Absolute favorites. So now we have a couple representatives of your newest collection to date.
Yes.
Because you know, by the time we put this out,
we're having a summer collection.
There's a summer collection coming out, which will be the next collection. So you went from your Dawn collection.
This is the Luminous Body.
Luminous Body.
Which has body scrubs as well.
And you can find all these things. We'll plug it at the end, but let's do it again. Let's do it here. You can find all of these products at
mialueur.com. I'll spell it for you. Yeah. mialueur.com.
So now we're at your newest to date, which is your cleanser and your exfoliant. So talk a little bit about that.
So this is from the Mia collection. So March is Mia's month. This March made her 2-year death anniversary. So we wanted to celebrate her, right? Because we're all about celebrating life. So the Mia collection, we have the cleanser. This is the first thing, this is my second favorite. This is the first thing that everybody was asking for when I started the line.
Right.
This cleanser is amazing, okay? I no longer use makeup wipes. This cleanser is aloe-based and coconut milk-based.
Wow, luxury. This is luxurious thing.
It feels so good.
It does.
Let's not even talk about the smell.
It smells amazing.
This has in the ingredients that Queen Esther used to treat her skin when she was about to marry the king. And if we read our Bible, Queen Esther was very gorgeous.
Yeah.
So we have frankincense and myrrh, we have ylang, we have sandalwood, we have pomegranate. We have all these stuff in this cleanser, and it is very gentle. And let me tell you, dark spots, you pair this with the luminary serum, amazing.
Wow. So frankincense and myrrh, so that means it's worthy for Jesus to use.
Yes, it is. Period.
Since they brought that as gifts for him as a baby.
And then we have the Aura Restore Exfoliant. Everybody loves this. Oh, it makes my face feel so smooth. But it's really gentle.
Yeah.
We don't do St. Ives around here. So
that's funny.
The Aura Restore is sea moss powder, avocado seed powder, and grape seed flour. So it's in a powder form because we're into sustainability. I am not into things going bad on my clients and then they have to order another set because it's spoiled in 3 weeks. No. So this will last you as long as you want it to last you.
Nice.
And it comes with a nice spoon so you don't have to make it real messy. You damp your hands, you rub it together, and you rub it on your face. Very, very, very gentle, but it gets the job done. And it has Egyptian geranium is in it as well, which is an exfoliating type of oil.
Look, guys, this is luxury. I don't know how else to tell you this. Also, you're not going to get any more of a skincare tutorial or the science of skincare than Cleo. She's truly about this life because the life is her, right? This is not something she literally She literally didn't pick this up yesterday. This is her whole life's work within these bottles. Tell them where they can find you, Cleo. Thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
Let them know where they can find you.
So you can find me at my personal IG is theglow_whisperer. I am also a certified life coach and certified self-love coach. I will be launching that in June. We are still working on that. And then you can find my skincare line at Mia Lueur. MIALUEUR.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thank you, my dear, for being on the podcast. You're very inspirational to me. So I wanted to share that with everybody. And hey, guys, highly recommended stuff here. This is all handmade. She doesn't outsource.
And it's all pH tested. I want to make that very, very clear.
Yeah,
all
okay.
pH tested to make sure we do not disrupt your skin's barrier.
There you go. There you go. Hey, man, I don't know much about this stuff, but being that Cleo and I are very close, once again, I have learned a lot about it, and I'm grateful. And I hope that you guys are not only buying, but just buying into the idea of self-love and taking care of yourself from the inside out. And hey, man, Mia Lueur is it. Everything handmade, everything made with love. It's self-love in a formula. Once again, this is the Fly Young Intellectual podcast. You can find me at Fly Young Intellectual on Instagram, at Mr_FYI on Twitter. Don't forget, there are still some sizes of the hoodies left online, www.flyyoungintellectual.com. New collection coming this summer. This summer, trust me. Put it on your calendar. FYI, got y'all this summer. It's going to be special. And I'm going to keep reiterating that because I'm excited about it, which means you should be excited about it too. Y'all take care. Peace.